What's up, everyone, and welcome back to episode. Ooh, girl, I almost forgot what episode it was. Episode 11, season 5. Girl, you know what podcast? I am Danielle.
And I'm Keisha.
And okay, so
Hey, I don't sound like a frog.
I mean, same.
Because it was rough.
Girl, yeah. So we took last week off because,
I couldn't talk.
yeah, and I was just like, don't strain it. It ain't that serious. We're just gonna, just hope for the best. That's it. That's all we could do.
People kept saying, I mean, my voice was just so bad. And they were
Mhm.
like, well, what happened? What's wrong? I said, and the crazy thing was like, my throat wasn't hurting.
Right.
It just, no pain.
Mhm.
It just went away. And I told my grandma, because I need to shut up. Y'all keep calling me. And even in the midst of my voice sounding crazy,
Mhm.
people would not stop
No.
calling me.
Girl, okay, remember when I
phone
had
was
throat surgery and I couldn't talk?
People don't care.
They don't
They don't
care. I was just like, I cannot talk.
care.
I seriously wasn't allowed to talk for like almost 2 weeks. I could talk, but it was like a whisper,
And
you
that's what I
know.
was talking to people like this.
Girl, and I was just like, I just don't want to talk. That's it.
Why you whispering?
Yeah.
My voice is gone. I don't want to strain it.
People don't care.
Oh my God.
They
It
don't
was,
give a
it was
shit.
terrible though.
Girl, yeah, so I feel you
I
on
feel like
that.
it's not 100%, but
Mm,
child, I was like, am I having an allergic reaction? Like
it could
my
be
tongue
anything.
felt swollen in the back. I just didn't
Yeah.
know what it was. I said, maybe my body is fighting getting sick.
Mhm.
And because my throat is not hurting, I just don't know. They were talking like old people's sinuses are just really bad because the protein in the air is making the pollen stronger.
Oh, I believe it.
What protein y'all putting in there? What y'all talking
What are y'all
about?
putting? First of all, what are y'all putting in the air?
We asking the wrong
I
questions.
mean,
Like, what are y'all talking about? The protein in the air is making the pollen stronger.
and you see how they just slide that right on in there,
And
like
nobody says anything. Nobody
no.
asks any questions.
Uh-uh.
Speaking of which,
Uh-huh.
so since we're just going to go ahead and get started,
Yeah.
Trump at the Supreme Court.
Child.
So this is another instance of people not asking the right questions.
Mm-hmm.
So his attorney is in front of the Supreme Court arguing if presidents have immunity from prosecution for crimes that they may commit while in office. And I'm listening to Sotomayor, and she coming up with all these concoctions. Well, what if a sitting president orders a coup, stages a coup, or orders the assassination of his rival,
Mm-hmm.
or orders the military to assassinate his rival? Would that be, excusable under the law because he's the president? And all I'm thinking, my brain was on fire because all I kept asking myself was, what the hell kind of crimes is the president? Why is the president committing any crimes?
First off, let's start right there.
While we fantasizing about the crimes he gonna commit, why do we want someone in office who is a criminal?
Right.
What are y'all
Child.
under? And y'all are arguing this in open court on the record.
Wasting fucking
At the
time.
highest court of the land. I'd like to be clear.
And I
They ain't at no
understand,
backwoods court in Mississippi.
girl.
They were at the Supreme Court bringing forth these arguments.
Girl. And I mean, it's such a joke, and it's just like this shouldn't even be. If you commit, I don't care who you are. If you commit a crime, then you should be held liable for it. I don't give a damn who you are. I don't care if you're president, king, queen, whatever. You should
And
be
I
held
don't know all
liable
their
for it.
names. I know Sotomayor's name because she been there for a little while.
Right.
Now Is the black lady's name Mackenzie? What's her name?
I don't know what I know her last name's Jackson. That's all I I can't even think
Jack
of. Yeah.
Jackson was like her concern. Okay, now she was somewhat speaking my language. Her concern is that we're now turning the Oval Office into the seat of crime.
Mhm.
Like where it's just fine to do whatever you want to do in here.
Yeah, basically that's basically what it is, and that's what he's been saying. He basically said, even before he was elected president the first time, I could basically do whatever I want and get away with it because I'm president. Well, first of all, it's because I'm Trump. So that's
Mm.
just what it is right there. He thinks he can get away with everything because he's Trump. But then now you add that he was a sitting president on. I mean, he was a president on top of it. It's just like, oh, I can do whatever the hell I want to do. What is all this
He
about?
literally has. It's like, I mean, I know he was in school when they was writing on stone tablets, but it's like he literally has no concept of government 101.
Well, that's what
Like,
happens
I
when you
don't
have
think
other
he
people doing
actually
your work.
knows what the president does.
He doesn't. He doesn't have a clue because he didn't do his work in college.
He thinks that it's actually a dictatorship.
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
he, let me say this, maybe he doesn't think it is, but he believes it should be.
Mhm.
And because he basically said, well, that might just be the white man's way of thinking. That they think they can do whatever they want to do.
Basically.
I just take that back. It just might be the Caucasian's thought process,
Hey.
especially the Caucasian male.
I mean, because I'm gonna keep bringing it up because Trump. I mean, not Trump. I'm sorry. President Obama could have sneezed, and they would have been like, "Up, he's not allowed to sneeze while he's president. What the hell? What's going on here?"
To Easter, and they about
Girl.
called in to the cavalry on him.
Listen.
The man put a light skinned suit on,
Y'all was
and they
mad.
ready to hang him high.
Listen.
So we know black people can't get away with it.
Heck no.
We know that.
And they know it.
Oh, absolutely they do. And they try to pretend like you guys are blowing things out of proportion.
This is why does everything have to come back to race? I hate that.
And so, speaking of race,
Mhm.
another thing that is very disturbing this week is that the UK blacks
Mhm.
from across the pond have decided to take aim at African American women. And it didn't work out for them. It didn't work out
It
for them.
didn't work out at all.
It didn't work out at all. Um, and then to say that, oh, like black women don't have. So basically, there was a podcast, and I think this podcast happened some weeks ago
Mhm.
because I remember seeing it. Two British women. Is that what we call them, black people up there? British? We calling them British?
Yeah, they British,
I guess
yeah.
they calling us American. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, two British women, two UK black women, um, were on a podcast and making some snide comments about African American women and what our issue is and what our problem is. Of course, I've been in this place now where I don't feed into any like banter or like negativity on the internet, especially like
Same, yeah.
with the stuff that's been going on with like Diddy, with the stuff that's been going on with like Harvey Weinstein, just any criminal activity, any like where it's just constant all day long.
Mhm.
I don't really be reading it and feeding into it.
Yeah.
So I didn't, go down the rabbit hole on this. I'm gonna be honest. So this little comments that she made on her podcast, and baby, when I tell you, them black women was handing out dissertations to these hoes. Cause what you not gonna do, and now I'm gonna be honest. I did go under the video and say because I say this and I know I sound like a broken record. As black people, we have got to get a little more informed on the way that the plantation shapes our lives.
Mhm.
I know that y'all feel like you are so far removed from plantation behavior. But when things like this happen, no, you're not. No, you're not. You prove to us every day that you are not far removed from the plantation.
No.
Because this type of coonery and carrying on that y'all doing on Gore's internet is really letting me know. Young ladies, American and British, baby, we all was on the same boat. You
Thank
do know
you.
this, right?
Thank
Those
you.
boats left the same port in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
One boat turned right and you ended up in UK. One boat went straight across the pond.
Well, most of those UK, not all, but most of those UK black people are from,
From Haiti.
yeah, from Haiti, Jamaica, the
Yeah.
islands, and
So
they
you
moved
took
over
a
there.
nice long boat ride.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like we was all on the boat. I don't know why. And you know what really kind of today I thought about? Y'all get into this, what's it, dysphoria, that African, how do they say
Oh,
it?
diaspora or whatever, something like that.
Diaspora war.
Yeah.
Y'all get into these arguments, and at the end of the day, we all black.
Mm. I just always wondered why, and I think I know what it is, but Africans, UK black people, I don't know what to call them. UK blacks, we'll just say that. Um, anyone else that's black, except for unless you're living in America, unless you're African American, even Canadian blacks,
Hmm.
everyone thinks that they're better than American blacks.
That's but let me tell you what is the tea. Y'all only think that first of all, it's because of your accent.
Hmm.
And really, it's because of your accent. And you claim that we have no culture. The culture you are claiming belongs to the white oppressors.
Right.
That is not yours.
Ask white
That is
folks if we had a
theirs.
culture because they try to copy it all the damn time. So let's not even do that.
Baby, everything y'all doing over there, what? Oh, because y'all still making jollof and rice and peas. You feel like you have a better culture than black people over here, but y'all kissing white people's
That's
asses.
it. And getting dogged because,
Everything you're mocking is from them.
yeah, because they'll sit over there and complain that, they get treated like crap over there, but y'all are still better than us. Okay.
Like when you talk about what's proper, baby, the white man taught you what was proper.
Mm
We got what was proper from our ancestors. We got what was acceptable from our ancestors.
hmm. Right.
The white man taught y'all how to act and still teaching y'all because y'all still over there with them.
Mm hmm. Kissing
Get out of
ass.
here.
Yeah.
I mean, how dare y'all?
I mean,
And y'all be over there defending. See how it started is that black girl from here said something about them old mushy peas and them beans and that white bread they be eating. And y'all was defending it.
hmm.
Baby, that's not even y'all's food. And Elaine was pissed.
Yeah.
The girl from UK, she was mad. It could never be British people talking about. It could never. It could never be us. Baby, it's y'all every day.
Every day.
Every single day. We talking about y'all.
That's
And
exhausting.
I'm gonna say it again. The very that is white people's culture.
Yeah.
Everything y'all doing over there trying to be proper and prim, baby, a white woman taught y'all that.
Hmm.
If anything, you find more people. I respect more African women like Ludacris's wife,
Right.
like her friends, like who come from an African country and come here and carry out their culture.
Hmm.
Baby, what y'all doing over there is upholding the oppressor. I don't know what y'all's African American history classes look like, but
They ain't the same as what we learn. And I
it's
mean,
not
and we,
going good over there for y'all. I can tell you that.
no, I think the only thing that they learn is just what they see on TV. That's it. And of course,
Mm,
it's always the negative stuff. So that's why they have a negative impression of us over here.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but listen, y'all got ghettos over there. I watch British TV.
Oh, yeah.
I watch British TV, and I mean, watch like British documentaries,
Yeah. It ain't no better
British
over there.
sitcoms.
They ain't taking care of y'all.
Mm-mm. No, I watch it, and I know. So let's talk about Amanda Seales on Club Shay Shay, because I saw you post something that
Yeah.
two things can be true at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
She can be educating Black people, but she also can be exhausting.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Okay. So I've always now I had Amanda Seales even before this interview. I had her on the because I just really wanted to talk about her
Mm-hmm.
because she's very interesting to me and she always has.
Yeah.
And even with this, I learned a lot about her from this interview with Shannon Sharp. So first, let me say this. I'll get back to your question in a second, but I think that Shannon Sharp came in there with a preconceived notion, and I told one of our friends this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that he already had his mind made up of who she was, and he was basically telling her who she was,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was just because of her reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how a lot of people perceive her and why she gets in a lot of trouble and why she's always getting kicked out of here and there and she has all these beef with people. But I also think that she's too smart for her own good. Now she's very intelligent. She has
Mm-hmm.
the education to back up everything that she's saying. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that you need to have that to be, but she does have that. She has a master's in African American studies.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that. I knew she went to college, but I didn't know that she went, and not only that, she went to Columbia. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's no slouch. Um, but to answer your question, like how two things can be true, she's I basically just said she's very intelligent and she
Mm-hmm.
can back up what she says, but she's exhausting in the same aspect because of how she I would say how she presents it. A lot of people
Right.
can't handle that. With me, I don't give a shit. I actually like the directness. I don't
Mm-hmm.
agree with everything she says because she's
Mm-hmm.
one of those people who she has this voice, she's always speaking, but when she says something, she doesn't really like for example, this is when she lost me a couple times, but she'll always talk about how Biden's not doing this, he's not doing that for Black people, basically trying to veer people off of supporting Biden, which is fine, that's your thing, but you don't have a backup.
Right.
You're so intelligent, it's like, okay, so then what do? We can't not just go out there and vote. I say
Right.
can't not, good Lord. We cannot just go out there and not vote because then we know what happens.
Right.
So give some kind of, like I don't know. It's just like
Well, you're right, because I think that is the dilemma of the ultra educated Democrat.
yes.
Um, and I mean people who have graduate degrees or higher.
Mm-hmm.
We are in a dilemma where we can't not see what's going on.
Right.
Like, we see it.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at we're looking at a president stand up and take position on things that we don't agree with.
Right.
And a president who believes that because he is a Democrat, and I think all Democrat presidents, it ain't just Biden,
Mm-mm.
all Democratic candidates are guilty of this,
Mm-hmm.
taking Black votes for granted.
Exactly. Agreed. Completely.
Because they know we're not going to vote Republican.
Mm-hmm.
Now, back in the 90s, when the racism was still a lump under the rug,
Mm-hmm.
we could vote for
Right.
a Republican.
Right.
And I think in the 90s, I think I've openly said this here, I voted for George Bush, I think the first time,
Mm-hmm.
because there was no way in hell I was voting for Al Gore.
Right.
Just
I just
No,
remember
no.
being so disappointed that that was our first presidential election, and that's what we had to vote to go with. That was the first
No,
one that we were able
my
to vote.
conscience would not sit with. We were college students then.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I voted at the university when that happened. I remember that.
yeah. So did I.
I couldn't, with good conscience, vote for him.
Right.
So, you know, I think the vote of the Democrat is just taken for granted. And back then, see, like George Bush is a good example too. Um, Not senior, but W.
Yeah.
Not Herbert Walker, but W.
Right.
He's a good example of this because he put black people on his cabinet.
Right.
And
Yes.
smart black people.
Mm-hmm.
Like Colin Powell was highly decorated.
Yes.
Condoleezza Rice spoke multiple languages.
Mm-hmm.
I felt I felt the most confident in that cabinet than I have in any presidential White House in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Because intelligence is something I connect with. Those were smart people.
Yes, I totally
The
agree.
shrewdest person they had up there was Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
He almost gave me the vibes of like, he never really talked.
Mm-hmm.
He was the person who honestly was probably in control.
Oh yeah, I
Because
totally
the
believe that.
quiet person is really the person calling the shots.
Mm-hmm.
And George was almost there for show.
Right.
But Dick Cheney was like the muscle. But them two black people he had up there, and Rumsfeld, wasn't he up there too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was in that cabinet.
Listen, I'm more confident in them than in the ever, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think what we have run into is now people like Nina Turner, the other girl with the she got her own show. Is her name Simone?
Oh yeah, Simone Sanders.
Simone, Amanda. We're running into situations where now people are like, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough to think that we're just going to vote for you because you're a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to start doing something because I'm seeing you do something for everybody else, but you're not doing anything for us.
Right.
And then I kind of feel like I get what you're saying. Sometimes she can be exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
But you know why I think she's exhausting to people? Because nobody else is saying shit.
There you go. Because she even said
Where's
that in the
everybody
interview.
else?
She'll say what what needs to be said, what nobody else is saying.
And my question is, okay, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we had damn, and now if you think about it, we had Tavis, we had the minister, we had Cornel West, we had a slew of, and now if you think about it, where all the men go?
Mm-hmm.
Was this an orchestrated attack? Because first they took Tavis down, and then I didn't think about this till right now, till we start talking about this. And now we have raised up a group of women.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, so now we've raised this group of women up who are speaking. But what do you see men doing on social media?
Right.
Bashing women.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, it's one thing that I think women we're gonna have to accept. Um and not I wish we would stop fighting um letting men stand in front sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes men just hear from other men.
Right.
And I don't think there's any, we'll never be able to change that. And
Mm-hmm.
I think
I
we are
agree.
wasting a lot of time fussing, wanting men to hear us
Mm-hmm.
when we should just allow them to hear from each other.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like, I know this is not a good example because they're divorced, but Juanita Bynum and her husband,
Mm-hmm.
um, he made a comment and said, uh, and I think she may have said this. She knew that there were certain rooms that she couldn't get in without a husband.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's very true. Yeah.
For certain places she couldn't go without, because even though she was a powerhouse, having a man, having a husband, it kind of like solidified her.
Mm-hmm.
And now, even if your husband's not the one talking, just the fact that you have a mate, she got access to a lot of places and she was able to speak and stand up, you know what I'm saying? And be assertive in places where they weren't accepting her before without a mate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes we just, I know it's hard to swallow, and I get that the world is changing and things are different, and I know that.
But some
But there
things
are,
haven't changed.
yes, and there are certain places where, especially in politics and in religion, you know, you just sometimes you gotta because look at the first thing people did. Now Shannon Sharp let her on that show, interviewed her, did all that talking. He got behind the scenes with Gilbert Arenas,
Mm-hmm.
with Chad Johnson, and what's the first thing they attacked? Why she ain't got no man?
Right.
That's why I'm saying, like, I know we as a people hate to hear that, and I know it's harder for women. It's harder for women because women feel like there's a shortage of men. All the things that women are saying now and are going through.
Mm-hmm.
They hate to see how they get disqualified for not having a man. They
Right.
hate that.
Yeah. Because let me say this, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's always bothered me when
Hmm.
men say that because I remember when I was at work one day and this guy, he's our age, and he
Hmm.
said that his dad, I think we were probably in our mid-30s at the time. And he
Hmm.
made a comment and he said my dad always told me that when a woman if a woman's 35 over 35 and she doesn't have a man, then there's something wrong with her. So I flipped it back on him and I said, "Well, I said, we're 35, you don't have a woman, what's wrong with you?" I
Hmm.
said, "Your dad, he's older than us. He doesn't have a woman. What's wrong with him?" And he didn't have an answer for that.
Hmm.
So why? I mean, I get what you're saying. Like there are, because I'm glad that you broke it down that way. There are certain spaces, and men will look at you differently when you do have a spouse.
Yeah, they do.
Totally get that. But it's just like, I mean, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? It has to be like, but they don't ever talk about that. But what you're saying, that's just how men look.
Yeah, that's just how they relate. Like,
Mhm.
and I think we spend a lot of time. I learned this from Ayanwa
Mhm.
when she told that girl that she had just ended a 12-year relationship. She said, at my age, she said, but I just came to the realization that he doesn't love me the way that I need to be
Now
loved.
who said this, Iyanla?
Paula Van Zandt, yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
That we get to look at the way people love
Mhm.
and we have to make a decision. Do I want to participate in this? Is this the way I want to be loved? And what I think we're spending a lot of time doing, like as women, we're trying to change men
Mhm.
into being what we want them to be and expecting them to be something that they're not. And I say this all the time. Listen, it doesn't work that way.
Mhm.
You gotta just get what you got, and either you want it or you don't.
Right.
And I just think we're wasting a lot of energy where we could just be coming together and working together for a common good of bettering the community versus all of the tension that we
Yes.
have between men and
Y-
between women.
Yeah. And the sad thing is a lot of these men just do, I mean, I'm not saying that this isn't how a lot of them feel, and women do the same thing. But I'm not saying that a lot of these men don't actually, really feel this way, like when they get on there and they bash women but I think that a lot of them do it too for the shock value.
Uh-huh.
They want to make
Yeah.
money. So it's just like it's so messed up that you're taking your popularity, money, all this other stuff to basically have a career bashing black women.
Right.
And I'm not saying we're just talking about that, but I'm not saying that women, because there are women, black women, who do the same thing to men. Let's not act like it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But it's more popular, especially now, when you see these black men doing that to women. And like you said, and I've always said this, and that's one of the things that we can never come together because we can't even agree on little things. And it's not just men and women, it's also like classism within the black community, religion within the black community. It's all these things that and you're not going to be able to agree on everything,
Hmm.
but it's always been
And I
like
don't
that.
think we should be looking to agree.
Yeah,
Like, and I think that's what I'm
exactly.
saying. I
Yeah,
don't think we should be looking to agree.
yeah, 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 yeah.
We have got to reach a point of acceptance.
Acceptance. There you go.
For
Yes.
us to be a society that wants you to accept that everybody is different,
Mm-hmm.
but in the same breath, we don't accept differences.
Right.
We want to be accepted for our differences.
Mm-hmm.
But when someone's religion is different than ours, when someone's sexual orientation is different than ours, we immediately feel threatened or attacked.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't disapprove. I just don't agree. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
when I say I don't disapprove, I mean, like, I'm not going to criticize you
Mm-hmm.
for the decisions you make just because I don't agree with them.
Right.
I don't think that that means people can't live in harmony
Mm-hmm.
because I don't agree.
Right.
I have a religion that, you know, demands that you function at a certain level,
Mm-hmm.
demands certain behaviors of you. And because of that, there will be some things that I don't agree with.
Right.
Right. Does that mean I don't love people because they may partake in the things? No, no, it does not mean that.
Mm-hmm.
You still love people. You still treat people with kindness, respect.
Right.
It's like we're fighting this endless battle.
Mm-hmm.
People agree with us. You don't have to agree with me.
And I think another thing too, it's that slave mentality. Is that black people have been beaten down so much that we're always in constant competition with each other. I want to get one up on you,
Yep.
and it's sad. It's really sad, and that's why I always say that. It's just like, when are we going to be able to come together, and just like we can't even agree on little things like, to boycott a certain, I'm just putting this out, I'm not saying, I'm
Yep.
just saying, like, to
Yep.
boycott a certain restaurant or a
Yep.
certain clothing brand. We can't even agree on something like that, because somebody's going to say, well, I don't care, I'm still going to do that, just like a defiant type of attitude,
We
so,
would not have survived the boycott.
oh,
And
no.
we would not have survived the bus boycott because it required walking, working
Mm-hmm.
together. It required effort.
Yep.
Y'all couldn't miss a season of football. It
Right.
required no effort.
None.
It literally didn't. You didn't have to march. You didn't have to make a picket sign. They simply asked you to turn the TV off, and you
That's
couldn't do it.
it. Couldn't do that.
That showed me that we were in a serious situation.
Yeah.
That really look, cause I didn't know black people was eating at Cracker Barrel. So like I ain't went back since they did that shit to Chris Rock Mama. Like, and that was in the 90s when they were still printing Jet magazine.
See?
I, it's just like y'all, it's no type of camaraderie, it's no loyalty
Mm-hmm.
amongst the community. None. Absolutely none.
Yep.
I didn't know people was back buying stuff at Wayfair. Cause
Gir-
I could have swore we knew that they was trafficking children.
Girl,
What
listen.
happened to that? Pillows, $16,000 with the names of missing kids on the phone. What we ain't never got to the bottom of that. And what people doing back shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I don't hold out no hope for these folks.
No, you can't. You can't.
Like none. But I think she just seems very exhausting again because we don't have any other representation.
Mm-hmm.
So she looks like she's the problem, but it's just because her voice is the only voice.
Right.
Where are the rest of the activists at?
Mm-hmm.
Where are the rest of the people who's supposed to speak up for the community?
Yep. And she was even saying, like, in that interview, like, there are so many people like in Hollywood who will contact her and say they agree with her and everything like that, but they won't speak out.
Of course not.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I was just like, oh yeah, I can totally see
And it's
that.
the same thing like with them talking about DJ Khaled in Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
Why you ain't said nothing?
Right. Still.
Like, you are a Palestinian.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening?
And we know.
And you practice your religion.
Right. Thank you.
You have taken pilgrimages. I've seen you. Remember, he was just there like, what, the year before this happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He went to Mecca.
Yep. Sure did.
I think he took a side.
See. And silent. Nothing.
Saying nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's psychotic.
He don't want to piss off them Jewish people that are signing his check.
And does somebody tell me, did we move to Jerusalem? And I don't know. I was anti-Semitic, but I'm just asking. What is do we live in Israel? Because
Girl.
I'm confused. Like, why is anti-Semitism the name of the game?
Yeah.
But we don't talk about Islamophobia.
Mm-hmm.
Or we don't give no type of love to the Black Lives Matter. Like, you can kill niggas that are going right around here. But baby, you better not breathe hard around a Jewish person.
Heck no.
Because you are what they call it, oh God, I forgot the word. It slipped my mind. It starts with an N, don't it?
Let me see.
I can't think of the word. They gonna say you that, whatever that word is.
Yeah.
You can't listen. You can't do it. I just said it the other day to Ronnie. I was like, do we live in Israel? Like,
right. What is going? It's all about that money.
Weird.
Mm-hmm. It's all about that
And
money.
why are we always like, none of this is going on in this country?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't even none of our business.
Right. We got too much going on here, especially now.
In the bed this deep with Netanyahu.
I mean,
how? Baby, we so far under the covers with Benjamin. I don't even know what's going on.
Right. Like, what is really going on? Like, I mean, is he a part of our government now or something? Like, what's going on?
I'm asking again. Is this Israel? Like, I don't know what's happening no more.
Girl, so confused. I don't get it.
It is one of the most confusing things that I've been watching. Like, what is happening? Y'all canceling graduations at universities where it's like $40,000 and $50,000 a year. You think them parents don't want to see them kids graduate?
Exactly.
At USC?
At Columbia?
At Columbia?
I mean,
y'all gonna have that school get tore for a whole different reason.
Oh yeah. It's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening no more.
I don't either. I'm just, and hey, like we always say, I just sit back and just see what
see what color should go put on the wall.
That's it. I don't say nothing.
I don't know what is going on. Like,
the only time I speak out is on this podcast. That's it.
Listen, we will be the first ones to jump in somebody's business in this country. They done had a whole issue over there, and the people who live in this country is putting pressure on this president to do something.
Yes.
What do we say to Benjamin? we can't tell Ben nothing.
No, obviously not.
That's y'all's dude. Y'all better be writing to him.
I don't understand it.
for Benjamin to get it together. Woo, honey, because and the crazy thing is, we want to talk about anti-Semitism, but it's like, y'all do know we can see them killing them kids, right?
Yeah.
Like, y'all want us to look the other way,
Yeah.
and like, but y'all do know we see what they're doing to them Palestinian children, right?
Right.
We can see it.
Killing women, pregnant women. I mean, it's just
You
like,
do know we see them bombing hospitals, right? Like,
listen.
it's newborn babies in there.
Yeah. But we're still
Woo!
supposed to be like, go Israel.
Uh,
Like, come on now.
It's like, this is disturbing.
Hmm.
And you want them people that live here, the Palestinians, just supposed to shut up.
Right.
Oh wow, it's
Yeah.
disturbing.
That's how it goes. Or anyone who supports them, because they have like these protests going on college campuses now. And I'm sure not just on college campuses, but that's where it's mainly been. And they're getting arrested, and I mean, it's just like it's crazy, but it's all about Jewish people bring in more money, they have more power. That's really what it comes down to. At the end of the day, I truly believe that's what it comes down to, because you can't convince me that we're going to be all up in somebody else's business with the war going on between two countries that is horrible. You see one country doing the most, but that's who we're supporting.
And it's like,
Verbally supporting, and financially. I can't.
and why is it okay to protest if you're an
Hmm.
Israeli, but it's not okay to protest if you're Palestinian?
Right. Right.
Why don't I have the same freedom to protest like they do?
Hmm.
Because their country's fine, my country is destroyed.
Yeah.
I see somebody put a video up, because some lady was like, if you don't, it was a young white girl, of course, if you don't like it, go back to your country. Dude made a video. He was like, they can't.
Right.
It's literally gone. Imagine if you left your house and it just wasn't
It
there.
wasn't there
They were
anymore.
like showing the pictures of like what it looked like before, what it looks like today.
Hmm.
Like, they literally blew it off the map.
Yeah. It's not there. So where are they going to? That's just a cop out for them. They always say that shit.
Child, what you gonna do with these people?
Girl, I'm over it.
It's just, let's talk about that people's champ. That people's champ, Chris Brown. That people's
Listen.
let,
Chris Brown, Lord have mercy.
let's look Chris hard.
Now, now I knew, like I remember back on Rap City and on the Breakfast Club, Chris, he would go on there and he would freestyle. So we already knew he could
Yeah,
rap.
we knew he had it in him.
But damn,
He said, I got time today.
plenty of time.
Hey, who wants smoke with Steve? Who wants smoke with Steve? Nobody, Chris.
Ah,
Not a soul.
Ciao.
Hey, hey, what is happening?
I don't know. I mean, it's just like like all these, like the quote unquote rappers are just getting destroyed. I mean, like let's even like as much as I can't stand Drake. I mean, he did his thing too, even though he didn't write it, and I just can't get behind. And people thought I was
You
just saying that
said that,
because
baby. I didn't even waste my time to go search it out. I just said no.
I
I don't got
I
time.
listened to it and I was like, okay, but he didn't write it, so it's just like it didn't even do anything for me. You know what I mean?
Aubrey,
Yeah, I'm just like,
some days you be Aubreying to the fullest, and it's just,
listen.
you didn't have that same energy with Pusha T.
No,
You'll never get my respect.
never, never.
'Cause you did not have that same energy with Pusha T. And
Mm-mm.
when Pusha T came to your door, you said, why do we gotta be, he's sick? We shouldn't talk about, oh, now you're friends with. I mean, we get it. But listen,
Right.
you came over here with that shit. No, 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 sir. No.
Child.
Baby, ain't no. Ain't no rules in rap beef.
None. But when you got
No.
an R&B nigga that destroyed everybody,
Mm.
it's done. It's a wrap.
He said it. You just got body by a singing man.
And did. And
And
did.
it. Listen, him, like, Quavo, what you do?
Nothing. And then he came back and I didn't even like hear all of it. I just heard like a little bit of his,
Oh
quote
my God,
unquote.
they're repeating that same word over and over again. I couldn't take it.
Child. You brought Takeoff back from the dead
Oh,
and you still couldn't even do anything with it.
listen, trash.
I was just like, that's just disrespectful. I don't care if that's your uncle or not. You just ooh,
Listen,
child.
okay.
Ooh,
The
yeah, but
words of
Chris,
Disney,
like
trashy hooker. Ooh,
Chris,
ghetto, the
the
ghetto,
ghetto, honey.
ghetto.
Because I mean, like I said, when an R&B nigga comes out and is destroying, you quote unquote so-called hip hop artists, which we know y'all aren't hip hop artists, y'all are just rappers, but it's done. Y'all's genre is completely done.
And can we just say, um, you know, Chris Brown is talented.
Yes, very.
He is a singer, a dancer, an actor,
Artist, he can
artist,
yes.
a rapper.
Designer.
And I told y'all, don't leave off the hose. He
Okay.
knocked off. He knocked all the hose off. So he just got all the
Oh
talents.
my girl, listen.
He got all the talents. Just leave him alone.
Just leave him alone. Y'all gonna quit messing with
I
Chris
ain't gonna tell
Brown.
y'all what my grandma say.
Uh-oh.
He he ain't right though, so y'all can't mess with him.
And
Like
he
leave him
said
alone.
it. He said it in
He told
himself.
y'all. He said his mental ain't never
Yeah,
stable.
he said I ain't all the way there, so y'all just might want to leave me alone. And they
My
don't.
grandma told me a long time ago. Them two bloods, they be at war with each other. So you better leave them people alone. She said them. She said they got them two bloods inside of them. They at war
Okay.
with each other.
Listen. Who you telling? Just always constantly at war.
I ain't trying to be funny. Don't try to off my granny. But think about the people with the two bloods. They do be crazy.
Off of it.
They
Off
be
the rocker.
different.
Hmm.
Think about that Holly Berry.
Listen.
Mariah Carey had a breakdown. That's your girl. I'm not trying to talk about it
No,
because I
no,
love
no. She had no. We keep it real around here. She had a
Mariah Carey.
serious breakdown.
What's the other one's name? Uh, uh, Chris Brown. Put him on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia Keys.
Oh.
They all be different now.
Yeah, because they got so much conflict in their own head,
I
you
told them
know.
there's two bloods in there fighting.
Child.
They at war.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Them bloods is in there just going to work.
Right. But Chris
Torch,
Brown
they
is a
torture souls.
child. He is the new people's champ, like you said. It's just
That's the people's champ right there.
yeah, 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 yeah. And y'all
And
gonna
they
learn to leave him
say
alone.
that's what they say. That
Okay.
he done took his petty to the next level.
Completely.
And that the boy had a concert and he bought the tickets.
Listen.
And it wasn't nobody in there. And that's what the people say, but I hope they wrong.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
He
I hope
he
that's
went
just
under the boys
yeah.
under the comment and was laughing. Good child. But he told you gonna have to see him. He
Yeah,
said you're gonna have to back it up when you see him in the street.
right.
Hey, because what that one boy say, you're gonna have to put hands and feet on him.
I mean, that's it.
And no, this ain't no shooting. You're gonna have to fight him.
Yeah, we ain't doing
You got to
no
fight him.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Y'all
And
gonna
I
have to
don't think
man
you can
up.
fight. I don't think
Hmm.
you can fight.
No, 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 no. Look at them.
Uh-uh.
I don't think none of
I
them
don't think
can. And we
and
already know
Chris
what
you
we already know what Chris gives. He'll fight anything. So,
I feel like
yeah.
hey, then when he said, I didn't know that he was in there yanking and holding Sweetie, when he said, quit talking about beating girls, we seen the picture on the elevator. How devastating. I
Child.
forgot about that.
Listen, killed him. Killed him.
I was like, whoa.
Killed him in 16 bars.
I'm gonna have to go listen to that again.
Right.
I got that saved on my TikTok.
Girl, listen.
Oh, so let me say this about TikTok too, because I posted a video about it yesterday
Mhm.
and I heard somebody explain it, and it was a very good explanation.
Mhm.
So he basically said TikTok has 9 months to sell. This is what the bill says. He has 9 months to sell to a US company. Um, in those 9 months, then there's like a 3 month extension in that. So
Mhm.
basically, they have a year.
Right.
If in that year they do not sell, what they mean by it will be illegal to get the app or you can't get the app, they'll just take the app out of the app store.
Mhm.
So if we already have the app, we will still be able to use it.
Right.
But what the problem is when they do updates and
Mhm.
they change the algorithm, we won't be able to get those updates.
Right.
And so the reason they don't want to sell, the guy said he doesn't think that they will go through with the sale to a US company
Mhm.
because they tried to put this same stipulation on them in India and they refused to sell to India.
Right.
He said, because basically, if I sell, I'm selling you my intellectual property.
Mhm.
Like you have control over it.
Yeah,
And
they look at it
I've
just like
been
an app. It's no, this is his creation. This is his, like you said, intellectual property.
right. And so now we're in competition with each other
Mhm.
because yes, he can go create something else, but I've given you the secret sauce to what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And you know who I think is behind all of this? Jeff Bezos.
Oh, I wouldn't
I
be
think
surprised.
it became a real issue until they opened the TikTok shop.
Mhm.
When they opened the TikTok shop, that's when you started hearing like, "Oh, we're gonna close TikTok down. We're gonna shut TikTok down.
Yeah.
Ban TikTok."
It
It
always
Jeff
comes down to
Bezos is
that.
behind it. I don't care
Yeah.
what he say
It always comes down to the money. Always.
because people are actually buying things off of TikTok, like for real.
Oh, I know I've bought stuff, so yeah.
Listen, I bought stuff. I have bought clothes for my mother, clothes for Sade. I have bought what else did I buy? That little Nintendo thing.
Yeah, I got that from
I bought
them.
that for
I got this little
Sade.
scrubber, this little electronic scrubber thing that works like it's everything. It cleans your tub, it cleans your oven, girl. It's the
Oh
bomb.
yeah. And don't worry, cause I'm gonna buy me a air fryer. I'm gonna get that little air fryer and that tea kettle. That's my next purchase. So nah, baby,
Okay.
they keep dropping that price. Think that thing was 70 some dollars. No, I'm gonna get it.
Right.
Cause we have never had an air fryer. Like we don't use
Oh,
one.
really? I thought you had one. Okay.
Nope. Mm-mm.
'Cause I
Nope.
thought
We
we
never
maybe I was
used.
talking to somebody else about it. Okay.
Nope. We have been like going back and forth about it.
Mhm.
But that baby finna go to college, and I was like, listen, you gonna be hungry, sir.
Right.
So what we getting ready to do
Mhm.
is that's what I should send my mother and my grandmother. I should send them some flowers for Mother's Day.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
they'll like that,
Yeah.
girl. But yeah, so that's the explanation for the app. You
Mhm.
be able to use it, but we won't get the updates if
Right.
they well, because they have already decided to ban it. Like that is
Mhm.
it. Girl, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
and the thing is, like, okay, so if he's not going to sell, somebody in America is going to come up with it, like come up with the alternative version. So,
I mean, but that's all Mark is doing all day.
mhm.
Like every time they make these little updates to Meta,
Mhm.
and every time they try to change Meta, it's that's all he's doing. And
Right.
did you see how now Facebook you can't see? I posted a video about that. You can't see your people when you like you. Sometimes you can,
Mhm.
most times you can't. So you have to actually go to it's like a little icon in the bottom corner where your like profile picture is.
Mhm.
You have to push that little icon and it takes you to like your menu of your whole Facebook account.
Yeah.
The top button says feeds. You push feeds and then at the top it says like all something else and then the next one says friends. You have to push that to see all of your friends.
See, I see. I
That's
didn't.
why
I
when
think I
you've been
remember
logged
you posting
in.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why when you've been logging in, you can't see your friends. Like you just see, like you'll see different pages that maybe you've liked
Right.
or stuff that they think interests you, but you won't necessarily always see your friends on your friends list. So now you have to go through all of that to even see the people who are on your friends
That's
list.
crazy. I just did it right
How
now
they
as you
gonna make
said
people
it.
stop using it?
See.
They gonna make people stop using Facebook.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Because first of all, old people on there anyway. Yep, we old.
Mhm.
And don't nobody want to go through all that.
No.
That is not a place for that's not a platform for people that are young. I know y'all put a lot of fight videos up there, but
Right.
that ain't really for the young people.
No. Uh-uh.
The young people be on Instagram.
Mhm.
Girl.
That is
So
crazy.
yeah, it's ever changing. Okay, so tell me this last thing.
Mhm.
Shirley Strawberry and Nessy, what's happening?
Okay, so I just saw this the other day where they're finally Shirley Strawberry has filed for divorce finally after all this time from Ernesto, but we're gonna call him Nessy because he's a huge stunt queen.
Shut up,
Um,
she a
she finally
divorce?
filed for divorce, and it also he's been charged with, on top of everything else that he had going on, which is already a long laundry list of shit. He's also been charged with bigamy and RICO charges.
So he got another wife?
Girl. Now I didn't read into all that yet. I didn't have time to, but he's been that's another charge on there is bigamy. So I don't know if this is someone that he was already married to prior to Shirley Strawberry or if this is someone that he married
What?
afterwards. Yeah. So I had to look more into that, but yeah, so she finally filed for divorce, and so what I'm thinking is if she was able to file for divorce, then he must have married somebody afterwards because they're married because I don't know how that works.
No, you can file for divorce anytime you want to, but it's a
Even if he was
reason.
married before, like I mean not married before, if he was like married and didn't get a divorce or something and was still legally married,
Oh
their
yeah,
marriage their
because
marriage
that's
wouldn't
true. Because
be
I remember when Frankie Lyman had all them wives.
right. That's what I
The
was
only
thinking
one he
of.
was actually married to was Elizabeth, I
Yeah.
think.
Yep. Mhm. Yeah, because they never got
No,
divorced,
the
even though he.
school teacher. He was
Mhm.
really only married to the school teacher
Yep.
because Elizabeth was never divorced from
From her
her
husband.
first husband, so that made their marriage null and void.
Mhm.
So he done married somebody else. So he done had to marry somebody else.
Yeah.
Who the fuck? This is public. Who married him?
Yeah, now I wonder if it's that lady that was, involved in all this stuff too, who was talking shit about Shirley Strawberry and, all this, like the woman
So
the
I
one that
wonder
was the
if he
other woman.
convinced her to think that if you marry me, you ain't got to testify. But y'all's marriage is not legal because he has
Exactly.
a wife.
Yeah, especially if you knew she was married. I mean, you knew he was married. So it's like
Be so dumb.
dumb.
Just
Dumb.
be so
Yeah.
smart. They dumb as hell. Like, why you let him convince you of that?
Girl, I
Now you
just
out here,
I mean,
girl. Please,
so
with his
it's
beard looking at.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was just like, so I mean, even for the older women, it's obviously slim pickings out here because if y'all are fighting over someone who's a known criminal and dealing with him, I mean, it's out here pulling stunt queen activities to the fullest, better than these drag queens or whoever. And child, I was just like, he is a mess. But yeah, I finally saw that. I was like, because I forgot all about it. And then because I don't listen
Because
to this.
one would think she would still be married to him after
Thank
all this
you.
time.
Thank
Like,
you. So after all this time, so I don't know, maybe it was a strategic thing because it came out the same week that she was filing for divorce that he had been uh had these other two charges added on top of, and one of them was bigamy. So I don't know. Maybe she just found out that he was married to somebody else or
maybe she
something.
was trying to. Because let me tell you this: sometimes their conversations felt like she was still believing him.
Oh yeah, she was
So
trying to
maybe
stand
she
by her
just got to the
man.
point where she couldn't deny it anymore.
Uh huh. Yep. It had to be. It had to be because she was standing by her man, girl. I mean, it was just like she didn't care what nobody else said. She didn't care about all this proof that was in her face. She was standing by him. So it had to be something that she was finally just
Well,
like,
this is
okay.
like an active conversation in my home.
Mhm.
Stop dating.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to my whole man saying it. Like women need to stop dating.
I mean,
It's some good men out there. It's some good men out here. No, it's not. Stop. It's not. Like it's not. I'm telling him, no, it's not. You
child.
think that. It's not. It is less if you and if you classify yourself as a good man, it's less of y'all.
Mhm.
It's more of them.
Yep.
I just told him this. It's less of you. It's way more of them. You think that people are they're not.
No.
They're not. And this don't tie your livelihood up in no man. Because look how the first jail calls we heard, what was happening.
Mhm.
They was repossessing her stuff because it was in his name.
Yes.
She had to get a ride from the beauty shop because they came and took her car.
Took her damn car. Now you know that would have been the last straw right there. I've been like, that's first of all, that's embarrassing as hell.
Don't sell your house either, ladies, because remember, she sold her house.
Mhm.
Don't sell your house. Don't listen to what he tell you. Keep your house. And I hate that relationships have to be like this, but it's just where we are.
Right. It
It's
is.
just
It
where we
truly is.
are.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have that relationship that you had before.
Mhm.
No. And this is like not, but he and I had that conversation. Like, the problem is this it's two problems.
Mhm.
Men like to tell women what they need to do
Yeah.
instead of y'all being accountable to each other. I said, y'all sit on those podcasts and we don't hear y'all saying to each other, don't put your hands on a woman.
Mhm.
Show respect. This is how you should treat a woman when you go on a date.
Right.
Instead, y'all sit around and waste your whole hour or whatever of a podcast dogging women,
Mhm.
talking about women don't do this and women don't do that and women need to do this instead of talking to each other.
Right.
Hold yourselves accountable for your behavior.
Mhm.
I said, because when we on the podcast, I'm coming for women's necks. Like it or don't like it. So
Right.
what? But we got to be accountable to each other.
Listen, we are equal opportunity over here.
Yes. I said, that is the first problem. I said, and y'all are stuck in a conundrum
Mhm.
because back in the day, women needed you. Women needed men.
Mhm.
They needed men to get houses, to get cars, to get automobiles. And I mean legally needed them.
Yeah,
When
exactly.
you couldn't legally purchase things. Even when some women could legally purchase things, women were not educated and they weren't getting, the schooling. I sound so country when I say it, but they weren't getting the schooling and didn't have the knowledge to go out and get employment. I said,
Mhm.
well, now guess what's happening? Women are getting educated. Women are getting degrees with an S. Women are the ones going to therapy.
Mhm.
Women are the ones bettering themselves. What are men doing? Sitting around telling women what they ain't doing and they need to do this and they need to do that. I said,
Mhm.
y'all ain't doing nothing but talking.
That's it.
Women are actually out here living and taking care of themselves. And now it has put y'all in a conundrum where you have to offer more because y'all love to say, oh, we provide and we protect. Guess what? She can take care of herself.
Mhm. And that's where the
Now
problem starts.
that's where the problem comes in because you paying bills is no longer enough.
Mhm.
And that's what y'all having a hard time with. Holding a conversation, being polite. Your money is not enough anymore.
Yep.
And when your money is not enough, then we've run into a problem. And this is why we see so much aggression. We see so many men killing women
Mhm.
because the ability to control women is gone. Once women, and I'm not even just talking about educated women,
Right.
once women got out here and start being lash techs and started doing hair, them girls charging a lot of money to sew them wigs on.
Heck yeah.
once they start getting real money and they getting it without the help of a man,
Mhm.
you see but the men are expecting you to take care of them,
Yeah.
expecting you to contribute to them. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
It
So what
is.
do you do? You're met women are now
Yep.
met with violence when they can't control you.
Because and the sad thing is because a lot of black men don't know how to express themselves. They don't know how without, it getting to that point,
Right.
and it's just and that's something that has been ingrained in them since they were little boys.
And I'm gonna just say this: all of those men don't grow up in violent households, but
Right.
I think what we saw a lot of during COVID, and here come broken record me,
Mhm.
March of 2020,
Mhm.
we're gonna shut down the schools, and I looked at Griffin and I said to you, this ain't gonna go right.
No.
This ain't gonna go right, y'all. I'm telling y'all
Mhm.
right now. From a mental health perspective, this ain't gonna go right.
No.
From a person with a political science degree, this ain't gonna go right.
Mm-mm.
'Cause the first thing I said is, once you scare the shit out of people, it's hard to unscare them.
Yeah.
You can't go backwards.
And then the conspiracy theories start because it's like there has to be a reason why, and it's just
And then here it goes. And
mhm.
then you isolated people. See, we don't take people's mental health into consideration when
Oh
we do certain,
no. Uh-uh.
and we started to isolate people who were thriving off of connections, but we
Mhm.
didn't know they had any problems because they were socializing every day.
Right.
They were getting the socialization that they needed to survive.
Mhm.
And so then we changed that. We took it away from them. So those benchmarkers that teachers could intervene on, and those kids who needed IEPs and needed help, we missed that.
Yep.
And now we have a lot of men who are just not socialized properly,
Right.
who can't communicate well. Because think about their age. They're like 22,
Mhm.
23. They would have been in high school during COVID.
Yeah. Well, just like when I was at the barbershop Friday, one of the guys that was in there, he works security at Mifflin.
Uh huh.
And he was just saying that this graduating class, they were freshmen when all this started. Like when we went down with COVID. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
yeah.
Like this, they missed so much,
Mhm.
that human contact, that communication. You know, I feel like even with Sade, she's like in a shell too. I
Mhm.
think her freshman year was COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, her freshman year
Mhm. And I
was
didn't even think
online.
about that. I was like, yeah, it
Yeah.
sure was.
And I think eighth grade, I feel like some of eighth grade, because when she came, because they went forward with it with ninth grade. And then
Mhm.
it was like every other day.
Right.
They would do like, okay, well, you can either completely stay home or come in 3 days a week, stay home 2 days a week. They gave
Yeah.
you a choice. And she was like, I don't want to go in. So listen, these kids have missed a lot.
Yeah.
They have missed a lot.
Mhm.
So, I really hate to see that black men are headed down this path.
Yeah.
And we just had this conversation. He and I just had this conversation yesterday. And I said, y'all doing nothing, and women are going to therapy.
Mhm.
Women are taking care of
They're
themselves.
listening to these podcasts. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, and guess what that's doing? Creating more frustration.
Mhm.
Cause you hearing somebody spew some bull crap. Oh, yep, see, yeah. That's what I be talking about. Like, woo! Good luck, y'all.
Okay, listen.
Don't y'all let these podcast boys take you down.
Okay, and most of them probably going home and having a happy life at home with their wife. It's just like, come on
Well,
now.
most of them is going home lonely and miserable.
Oh, well, yeah.
They're
You right.
miserable.
You right. You right.
They trying to tell you you high value and you don't need to settle and don't do this and don't do that. And they're miserable.
Girl.
Don't you fall into that trap. Letting lonely people but men will tell you, don't you listen to these lonely women, these women, da 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 da. But what about you, bruh?
Right.
You just as lonely as a woman.
Yeah, that's what I don't know.
And
That's
you
what I
out
was
here
saying
spewing that
earlier.
same negative talk.
Mhm.
Like feed positivity into each other.
Yeah.
Like look out for each other. But nah, not these men. God bless
Mm-mm.
them.
Yeah, that's a girl. That's all we can do. Just pray. Pray for everybody. That's it.
Hey, well, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm getting a little froggy though, it sounds like. But sounds like I need to be quiet again. But we hope that you all enjoyed the episode this week. As always, you can reach us at girl underscore you know what at DannieBSpeaks and at Wellness and Women. Until next week, have a blessed and prosperous week. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.